do you know what a demon is? Granddad asked. We were sitting on our folding chairs outside his garage. We called them our folding chairs because no one else was allowed to sit on them. We bought them on one of our annual Jersey Shore trips, and since then have decorated them with every sticker we get our hands on. And this was Grandpa's garage. And not the garage, because Grandpa lived there. He had a buck on the wall, his shotgun hanging over the fridge, pictures of us grandkids filling every other inch of space. It was the garage attached to Mom and Dad's house, but it wasn't like any old garage. When I walked into it, I felt like I was entering another world, a world of hunters and storytellers and cigars. Do you hear me, son? He asked, nudging me. Yeah, I said. I know what demons are. It's like a monster, but it's orange. Grandpa laughed, pausing to sip his whiskey. The bottle next to his chair was halfway gone. When we first sat down, he had to peel the plastic off the top. I like that, he said. Orange monsters. I guess that's right. The neighborhood was loud with 4th of July energy. After the pandemic, people were excited to be outside again, to connect, to grill hot dogs, and tell their quarantine stories. Mom said we were going walk over and watch the fireworks with the neighbors. But first, I had to say goodnight to Grandpa and spend some quality chair time with him. I hope you never encounter any demons, he said. Sometimes they'll be out in front of you and, if you're lucky, you get to kill one. But other times, they sneak up on you when you're not looking. Then, they I don't know. My palms were clammy. I imagined the orange monsters, their giant hunchbacks walking into my room. While I slept, I pictured their big, veiny eyes, their claws, their fangs. What do they do? I asked. Grandpa took another sip. Well, sometimes they use you like a dog uses a dog house, he said, laughing again. Like a dog house. They get all warm and cozy. And then, before you know it, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you're just, I don't know, it's like a stomachache you can't poop away. I laughed as Grandpa rustled my hair. As the image crept in, I couldn't stop laughing. I imagined the orange monsters, their faces squished, as they slowly came out of my butt. It's funny, right? Grandpa said. I nodded. Grandpa held the back on my neck. I could feel his calluses, fat and hardened by 40 years, as a woodworker. So what do you do when the demons are already inside of you? I asked. Grandpa nodded, draining the last of his whiskey as he placed the glass on the asphalt. Mom and Dad walked out of the house. Dad was bickering about losing his keys, and Mom was ignoring him, her focus on the garden. When Dad saw us talking, he waved, and we waved back. Behind their heads, the sky was big and full of stars, ready for the onslaught of fireworks. When they're already inside you, he said, you kill them same way you kill a deer. All things die the same way. You ready for the fireworks, sport? Dad asked, walking up to us. Mom was still hanging by her flowers. Grandpa and I are talking about monsters. I said, can I meet up with you? You can't be running around these streets alone. Dad said, you never know what bad things are lurking out there. Go on, kiddo, Grandpa said, rustling my hair again. Go enjoy the show. Okay, fine, I said, getting up from my chair. As Mom caught up with us, the three of us walked down the driveway as Grandpa stood up, pulled open the garage, then walked inside. I kept my eyes back on him as we strolled toward the noisy neighborhood. As we rounded our mailbox, I saw him tape a piece of paper to the door. I couldn't read it from so far away. Maybe he didn't want me waking him up to tell him about the fireworks. When I stepped into the road, I looked up at the sky behind our house. Then I heard the first firework go off. I searched the sky, waiting on the bright lights, but they never came. All that remained was the stale echo of the pop. It reminded me of our hunting trips, when we'd shoot bottles off tree stumps. Mom and Dad stopped walking. Mom whispered something to Dad, then they turned back toward the house. They were walking at first, then started to run. As they ran up to the garage and lifted the door, the fireworks started, the neighborhood sky filled with the most amazing lights, blues, and red and oranges, and yellows, and pinks, and purples. Every color I could picture. As the neighbors cheered, Mom's scream cut above the sound. It sounded like she saw a demon.